Welcome to our refreshed and revitalized houseplant room. It's been a busy couple of months here at Plant Vibes home. If you can hear a little baby, I think he's crying in the background. We have a 2-month-old newborn. And of course, the very first thing that we tackled once he was born was to give this plant room a one-over and refresh it, give it some new life. So when we moved into the home 5 years ago, the first thing that I did in this room was I tucked my desk in the corner and I jam-packed it full of plants, as many as I possibly could. I think I had at one point over like 150 houseplants in here. And that was awesome for me to really just observe my plants, learn a lot about them, but it really meant that the room was not very usable. I could use it, no one else. So the next thing that I did, the next evolution to this room involved taking my desk out of the space and trying to make it a little bit more inviting for people to spend time in. So at that point, that was when we really decided to put these, embark on this houseplant wall, which involved, we put slats on the walls, we started growing some plants up the walls, and 4 years later, it's created this beautiful living wall effect here in this room, which is absolutely stunning. But once again, I started to jam-pack the space with so many plants. There was nowhere to sit, there was nowhere to hang out. It was kind of this room where you'd walk in, you'd take a look at the plants, and then you leave. Highly unfunctional. But it was great for me because I loved having the opportunity to explore so many different species of plants during that time. Fast forward a couple of years, my wife is getting pregnant. She says, Devin, we gotta make this room, it's so beautiful, it's so lovely, we gotta make it usable. So after our little dude was born, we set out on the task because we knew we were gonna be wanting to spend time with him. We wanted to have somewhere where we could sit down with some coffee, some breakfast, and just put up our feet and enjoy the room. So what we did, we took the bookshelf that was like the plant bookshelf that used to be here in this currently blank open space, and we moved it against the other wall, blocking a door, which is kind of an unusable door for us anyway. We never use that door. We moved some chairs in here, and immediately it just opened up this space to being much more functional. Once we recognized that this could actually be a room that we could use, we decided to give it a new painting. We chose a nice sandy, soft color. And that is really allowing the plants to be the star of the show. And it just has created a much more softer, gentle energy in this room, which is now much more functional. Now, like I was mentioning, I had over 150 plants in here at one time. So part of the process was I got rid of a lot of the small plants. I gifted them away, or I took, maybe I had 3 anthuriums that were small plants. I planted them together to create more larger plants. That's always been one of the keys to having a nice energy of houseplants in your home, is to really focus on having some structural large plants in your space. Because when you have a lot of small plants, yes, it does create a lovely jungle energy, which if that's what you love, then that's great. But if you want a little bit more cleaner feel to your houseplants, you want to have some big plants to really harness that energy and really create that structure. Now, we did kind of retain one little jungly area, which would be this back corner, because this is kind of where your eyes go as soon as you enter the room, and we wanted to create a visual division between this and that little passageway that leads to the outdoors. So I have kept with my old school jungle vibes in this little area. But as you can see, the rest of the space is really filled with some larger plants like the money tree, like our scheffalera, like this big old philodendron, and of course the large plants on our bookshelf that really kind of create a nice feel in this corner and still uses the space really effectively. Overall, I'd say the room has a much more elevated feel, maybe even sophisticated, and that's all thanks to my wife and the evolution of our tastes that have taken place over the last few years. And yeah, for now, we love it. It's much more usable, and who knows, maybe in a couple years we'll go back to a jungle vibe and just stuff it with plants. That's the wonderful thing about growing plants, is it's always evolving, always changing, just like our taste. So with that, now you've seen a little bit about our houseplant room refresh, and I think it's a really lovely, inspiring space that I'm just so thrilled to say is a part of our home, and a place where we can enjoy some wonderful family time surrounded by Mother Nature inside of our home. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to our channel. We have literally almost 1,000 videos all about growing plants, being inspired by plants, indoors and outdoors. Anyways, thanks for joining me here on Plant Vibrations. I'll catch you soon. Ciao.